Welcome to The Beat. Today we'll hear Jennifer Horne read her poems Lines, College Tour, Look Forward To, and Hot Springs High. She'll follow with a poem by Thomas Hardy called Her Father.
Lines. In North Carolina, my neighbors had a red phone booth in their yard amongst the camellias, rhododendron, hellebores. The British kind, enclosed like a many-windowed room with telephone at the top. The kind I used to stand in every Sunday when I called from my year abroad in Oxford and sometimes cried with homesickness. When you were dying in Arkansas and I was off teaching in Carolina, it was snowing hard and dark, and I couldn't get to the phone booth. I'd found an old phone in a closet. I picked up the heavy receiver, put my finger in a numbered circle, and dialed 664-3608, thinking if you were anywhere reachable, it would be at the number I'd memorized at age 6, going off to first grade. I told you what a good father you'd been, wished you peace and freedom from pain. I told you it was okay to go, the way you told me I could spend a year away from home in a country you'd never seen, among people you'd never met, because you trusted I would find my way, because you knew I needed to go, because although you didn't like yard work, you were a natural gardener, always encouraging me in the direction of growth. What lines still connect us, invisible and taut, beyond the red box, the squat black phone, the slim silver magic you learned? Without a grave to visit, I walked the local cemetery, spoke to any stone that spoke to me. Once, I swear it, I found golf clubs on a grave and thought to speak of it next time you called. College Tour. I can see you hunched at the steering wheel, black leather gloves holding tight, peering ahead, willing the car to stay on the frozen road, your Goodwill coat, your checked wool hat, talismans against mishap, taking me north through the Ozarks, from Little Rock to faraway Missouri, through sudden snow on roller coaster roads with unseen drop-offs. I was quiet so you could concentrate, quiet like both of us reading a book in the same room, but never did I worry you wouldn't get us through. I knew. I'm driving now, halfway lost, somewhere north of Atlanta, picturing your steady hands on the wheel. Black gloves, near white out of snow, your love expressed in getting me where you hoped I wouldn't go. Look forward to. Always have something to look forward to, you'd say, even if it's just a peppermint tucked in a jacket pocket. You'd produce the pinwheeled sweets leaving a restaurant, reminding us of pinwheels from the dime store, bought with allowance money, shiny quarters, a way to catch the wind, befriend the hour. You'd say the treat was in the looking forward as much as in the crunch or slow dissolve. A promise to yourself that dullness passes, that little sparks of dazzle light the path better than any brilliant one-time blast. Hot Springs High. You wore the ring on your right hand the boy from Catagap made good. You drove us through the old neighborhood. You'd saved to buy that modest band. The high school boy was now a man, ready to live as a man should. You wore the ring on your right hand, the boy from Catagap made good. Now it is mine. Now I can, in its light heft, feel how it stood for all you'd done and all you would. Turning it idly to ponder, plan, you wore the ring on your right hand. The boy from Catagap made good. Her Father by Thomas Hardy. I met her as we had privily planned, where passing feet beat busily. She whispered, "Father is at hand. He wished to walk with me." His presence as he joined us there banished our words of warmth away. We felt with cloudings of despair what love must lose that day. Her crimson lips remained unkissed. Our fingers kept no tender hold. His lack of feeling made the tryst embarrassed, stiff, and cold. A cynic ghost then rose and said, "But is his love for her so small that, nigh to yours, it may be read as of no worth at all? You love her for her pink and white, but what when their fresh splendors close? His love will last her in despite of time and rack and foes."
You just heard Jennifer Horne read 4 poems from her book, Letters to Little Rock. The poems were Lines, College Tour, Look Forward To, and Hot Springs High. Horne followed with the poem Her Father by Thomas Hardy. She was kind enough to record these poems for us at her home in Alabama. Jennifer Horne was Poet Laureate of Alabama from 2017 to 2021. She's published 4 books of poetry: Bottle Tree, Little Wanderer, Borrowed Light, and most recently, Letters to Little Rock. She's also written a collection of short stories called Tell the World You're a Wildflower, and the literary biography Odyssey of a Wandering Mind, the strange tale of Sara Mayfield, author. Horne has edited 5 volumes of poetry, essays, and stories. Thomas Hardy was born on June 2, 1840 in Higher Bockhampton, Dorset, England. He worked as an architect during much of his early career as a writer. He's best known for his novels, but much of Hardy's early work was poetry. After his poems were initially rejected, Hardy turned to fiction, and he published more than a dozen novels, including The Mayor of Casterbridge, Far from the Madding Crowd, Tess of the D'Urbervilles, and Jude the Obscure. Later in his life, Hardy returned his focus to poetry, partially due to hostile reviews. In fact, one critic called Jude the Obscure the most indecent book ever written. Hardy's first book of poems, Wessex Poems, was published when Hardy was in his late 50s. He published 7 more collections in his lifetime, totaling nearly 1,000 poems. Thomas Hardy died in January of 1928. He was 87 years old. You can find books by Jennifer Horne and Thomas Hardy in our online catalog. Also look for links in the show notes. Please join us next time for The Beat.
Thank you for listening to and sharing this podcast from Knox County Public Library in Knoxville, Tennessee. Music by Chad Crouch. Explore life-changing resources on our website, knoxcountylibrary.org. Find our podcasts under the Programs menu, including over 100 book and author talks. knoxcountylibrary.org, your essential connection for lifelong learning and information.